Hey there, Dan Garner here from CreateFreedom.com. In this video, I want to talk to you today about how to stand out as a leader online. A lot of us have a message that we want to get out there. A lot of us have a vision that we want to achieve. A lot of us just simply want to help a lot of people because we provide a better product or service than anyone else in our little demographic that we're serving. A lot of us feel this way, but we don't feel like we have the reputation online yet to get the following that we need in order to create a dent in whatever industry that you're in. This is what I want to talk about today. How you can start standing out as a leader in only 6 different steps. Number 1, don't compete. So I say this in 2 different ways. The first way that I want to tell you not to compete is just don't worry about what your competition is doing. If your competition is your measuring stick, then you're only going to do this much in order to beat them because you're going to deem yourself as a little bit better than them. So therefore, that's enough, right? We're better than them anyways, so we're gonna get the traffic. Don't ever think like that. You should always be thinking of not working to meet your quota. You should always be working to meet your potential. This means shoot way up. Reach your actual potential. What's your potential? Your potential has nothing to do with competition, only competition with yourself. Constantly try and beat yourself every day. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing and be the best possible version of yourself that you can be. That's how you're going to stand out as a leader. You're not going to separate yourself from the pack by being this far ahead of the pack. If there's 10 racers and they're all almost at the finish line and you're 2 inches ahead, you might win that race, but nobody noticed you. You didn't separate yourself from the pack like you think you did, and you're not being the person that you know you can be. So only ever compete with yourself. Don't compete with the competition. The second way in which I'm telling you to not compete is don't compete on intelligence. Compete on leadership, okay? There's always someone smarter than you out there. Unfortunately, that's how this thing rolls out. There is always going to be someone smarter than you. I come from the health and fitness background, and then I went online. There are wildly brilliant people for training program design, for strength, for speed, for conditioning, for understanding energy systems, for understanding the different organ systems of the body, for fat loss, for nutrition, for working with special populations, you name it. Every little tiny nook and cranny of health and fitness, there's a bizarre expert somewhere who does nothing except read research on that bizarre subject. These people are everywhere. So don't compete on intelligence. Compete on leadership. If you show yourself as a leader, if you provide direction, if you have a proven track record of success, then use your leadership as your tool to gain a following. Don't feel like you have to look like the smartest person in the planet in order to be a positive figure or an influential figure. We all know people who we likely have better skills than them at whatever it is, but they have a massive following. We see this all the time on Instagram. There's a lot of people who don't necessarily know what they're doing in whatever business that they're in, but they have 50,000, 100,000, 500,000 followers because they're a leader. So change your mindset in that way. Don't compete on intelligence. Compete on leadership, and you'll be giving yourself way better tools in order to create the impact that you want to create. That's number 1. Number 2 is substance. Your content has to have substance. We live in a day and age of the internet where I am able to go read an article and then 15 minutes later create a video teaching people what I just learned. Okay, that's the day and age we live in. I learned that 15 minutes ago, and yet now I am able to stand here and appear as if I'm an expert and teach you guys something that you don't even know about because you haven't read that frickin' article yet. That's the world that we live in right now. But people know when they're being fed leftovers. They know that. They know that if you don't have a true expertise in an area, that your delivery of the communication will not have substance. So your content has to have substance. And the only way in which your content can have substance is if it is within your domain. Meaning, you have to stay in your lane when you're creating content. Because when you're staying in your lane, if you're really passionate about one thing, then that's the area you're gonna display the most leadership qualities, but that's the area where you're gonna appear most charismatic, and you're gonna actually have expertise within that domain, which gives your content substance. If you're providing information, it's just information. But when you provide information with experience, that's content with substance. That's what allows you to stand out as a leader online. If you don't have the substance, then you're just somebody who is speaking empty words that don't mean a lot to you, and your audience knows when they're being fed leftovers. I promise you. Number 3, communication. When it comes to standing out as a leader online, you have to be able to communicate not on your level, but communicate on your prospects level or your customers level or your clients level. There is such a huge difference between communicating to try and sound smart and communicating to be effective. The guy who's trying to sound smart isn't going to be a leader, isn't going to impact lives. The person who's communicating to be effective is the person that's actually getting their message across, so they're not just heard, but they're listened to. But now that their message is across, that client or customer or prospect, they're able to have actionable steps that they can work with because they understood what was delivered to them, and they have the confidence to act upon that delivery. That's the difference between somebody who's communicating to sound smart and somebody who's communicating to actually be effective. Always communicate to be effective. I think it was Albert Einstein who said, and I'll butcher this quote by the way, but he said something like, it should always be as simple as it can be, but not simpler than that. And that's what you should always be aiming for. You should always be aiming to make whatever concept you're discussing simple, but not too simple that you miss the importance and you misrepresent the true concept that you were trying to parlay in the first place. So be simple and be effective. And if you're trying to sound smart, the odds are the only one that you're impressing is yourself. Number 4, your appearance and your delivery. Your appearance must be sharp. Like right now, I try to look nice for these videos. I try to use an excellent camera for these videos. I want to have this ready to go for you so that you have a reference that you can look at throughout the entire video so that you're not trying to remember what I said. Okay, what was number 2? What was number 3? You know, everything is laid out because appearance is important. You should look like a professional if you want to be a professional. That's important. A lot of people will say, well, don't judge a book by its cover. We all judge books by their cover. That's what we do. We are humans. That is a natural part of the process. Lots of times, just when you look at someone, you know if you're going to be able to get along with them or not, and you know if you're going to be able to work with them or not, and you know if you're going to hire them for a service or buy their product from them or not. A lot of times we make these decisions in a snap. Is it fair? No, it's not fair. But the market does it. Even if you don't do it, the market still does it. So we have to be the tree that bends with the wind and make sure that we not just talk the talk, but we walk the walk. We need to have the appearance that represents the position that we're trying to stand out as a leader online. If you want to be a leader, look like a leader. It's very simple, but that's missed on people who get up in the morning and take a video with their cell phone and they haven't brushed their teeth yet and they've not groomed at all. No, you know what I'm saying here. Everything, there's shoes on the ground. The place looks terrible. There's old pizza on the bed in the background, but they're still making their video. All right, this might be a little dramatic, but you know what I'm saying. Be as professional as possible. But it's not just about looking the part. You have to deliver it confidently. If you are providing content with substance, that means you are an expert in whatever area you are an expert in. So deliver it confidently. There are too many people who kind of make videos like this and then they'll, I might just look at the whiteboard instead of look at the camera and are you ever gonna listen to me? If that's how I go through this video, you're never gonna listen to me. You're gonna be like, this guy doesn't even sound confident in what he's talking about. So why should I be confident in what he's talking about? You shouldn't, especially if I was dressed like a clown, right? Your appearance and your delivery has to be on point. Leaders are confident. Leaders know what they're talking about. You know what hurts your confidence? If you compete on intelligence. Don't compete on intelligence, compete on leadership. You have a message to send, you have people to help, you know how to do it, you have the proven track record of success, you have the substance, you have the communication, so look good and deliver it properly, or else nobody's going to hear it, period. Number 5, find your platform. Everybody has a platform that they are best at. Some people are excellent on video. Some people are excellent on podcasts. Some people are excellent writers. Some people, they can just, whatever. There's so many different areas where some people are best on social media, say on Instagram. Everybody has a platform that they know, that they like, and that they emit their message the best on. Me personally, I feel like I'm best on podcasts. I don't feel like my best medium is video. I don't feel like my best medium's blog writing. I don't feel like my best medium's on social media. I still do those other things, obviously, because I'm doing this right now, but I definitely feel like I am my most charismatic and my best self when I'm podcasting. What's yours? Find your platform and then own that platform, okay? If you're a good podcaster, then why are you spending 50% of your time writing blogs? Dominate one platform and then add in the others. That's how this thing works. We're gonna make a whole lot of noise on where you have your best leadership qualities and you're delivering your message the best that you possibly can, and then add on the other platforms from that platform. They are a byproduct of your main platform. That's how you should be thinking about it in your head. So find your platform and dominate that platform, because that's how you're gonna stand out as a leader, because that's where you are at your absolute best. Don't think you have to do everything. Definitely master something, okay? You have to master one thing and add the other stuff on. Last but not least, go live. I know this is scary for a lot of you. A lot of you don't like to go live. It can be nerve-wracking. It can be intimidating to go live. But guess what? You will never, ever, ever get a better chance to demonstrate that you're a leader than by going live. Why? Because there's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to hide. If a question pops up, you got to answer it on the spot. And when you're able to do that, man, is that ever attractive. People are like, wow, this guy knows what he's talking about. You know, I can't, if I go live, I can't prepare for the questions that I get. So if I get asked beginner questions, intermediate questions, or highly advanced questions, I got to answer them all. But when I knock them all down like a strike in bowling, it makes me look like a leader, and I build tons of trust in my audience, because they know that it's not just a manufactured script on my podcast or a manufactured script that I'm going through right now on this video. No, they know I know my stuff, because I talk the talk and I walk the walk. So I can go live, be confident, be a leader, and give advice on the spot, because this is what I do, because there's substance in everything that I'm delivering. Okay? These are the steps how you can become a leader online and really separate yourself from the pack. Don't compete on intelligence, compete on leadership, and don't compete with anyone else in your space. Only compete with yourself. Make sure that your content has both intellectual pieces and experience-based pieces to it as well. Don't just provide information, provide substance. Number 3, communicate to be effective. Don't communicate to try and sound smart. Number 4, your appearance is important, and the delivery of what you're trying to get your message across is also important. Be calm, be collected, be confident, attract people to think that, man, that guy really knows what he's talking about. That's kind of delivery that you should be after here. Step number 5, find your platform and frickin' dominate it. Go all in on whatever platform you are best at and branch out from there, because that is where you're going to be able to shine your light. Last but not least, you gotta go live. This is my challenge for you. I'm gonna issue a challenge at the end of this video, and you, my friend, need to go live within the next week. Book it. Within 7 days, go live. Announce that you're going live. Get people ready. Tell them where to be and when to be there. Say that you'll be asking questions on the spot, and show everybody the leader that you really are. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And for more information on how to create freedom in your life and blow your business up, go to createfreedom.com.